My husband is divorcing me because I'm infertile. But now he's saying infertility wasn't the only reason he left me. I'm an absolute wreck. Well, welcome to Reddit. You'll find good company here. Countless consultations, too many tests to count, 5 rounds of IVF. That's a lot of rounds.
Wow.
Months of crying myself to sleep, and now the only source of happiness in my life is gone. The past year has been really difficult to me. Last July, my mother passed away, and it had been her dream to see me, her only daughter, ripe with children, and I'm devastated that she didn't get to experience that. To add to that, in November, I was laid off, and now the consequences of that have been coming to a head because husband and I can no longer afford another round of IVF and can barely afford my appointments because IVF is expensive.
As we've learned on this show.
My husband and I have been dreaming of the good life. 2 kids, a dog, and a pretty little house in the country. All of that came crashing down 2 days ago. He had just arrived from home from work, and I greeted him with a smile and came towards him with the expectation of a kiss. And he walked right by me.
Huh?
He looked at me soberly and told me to sit down. As I sat, I could feel my heart sinking in my chest, although I didn't know why. He placed a couple pieces of paper on the table and slid them towards me and buried his head into his hands and let out what sounded like a quiet sob. I looked down, shaking, and saw that he was serving me divorce papers.
Oh.
Everything after that is a blur. I have memories of him telling me that he loved me, and he was so sorry, but that he had been miserable. And if I wasn't able to have a child, he couldn't stay with me. He told me that he was a monster and that he couldn't shake his biological imperative anymore. At least he admits he's a
At least.
We'd both agreed early on that if we couldn't have children, we wouldn't adopt because we wanted biological children. Please don't judge us. He used to hold me at night and tell me that he would never leave me no matter what, that being childless was okay and I was worth it. I now know that that was a lie. I can't blame him though, because it was me who was hindering the relationship. I am the broken one.
Oh.
His sister and best friend came over yesterday to help him pack up his things, and I just laid in bed and sobbed the entire time. He has rented an apartment on the other side of town and has agreed to pay for our home for the next 4 months until I can find another job and we can sell the house. I'm devastated. How could he do this to me? My life is over. Do you think like the husband is an asshole for this or?
Yes. And the
Really?
reason why she mentioned like, oh, he used to hold me at night and tell me it's okay. We can't have children together. There could have been more communication.
I feel like a conversation before that, like, hey, like I'm really unhappy.
Yeah.
I don't know how to deal with these emotions. Let's talk
I just
about
want to
it.
put it out there because then it's at least less of a blow.
There is an update.
Oh, of course there is.
Let's hope OP's life gets a little better. On Saturday afternoon, everything came crashing down again. I was trying to block everything out of my mind and binge watch Netflix when the doorbell rang. My heart tightened. As I walked towards the door and opened it, it was my husband. He looked terrible, almost worse than I did. Without looking me in the eye, he asked if he could come in, and I couldn't even speak. I moved my body to the side of the doorway and motioned him inside. It took everything I had not to kiss him and punch him all at the same time. We sat down on the couch together in silence for what seemed like 10 minutes. He finally spoke, and all he said was, "Infertile old maid, I'm so sorry."
Man, come on.
I was silent. We sat for 2 more minutes before I finally had the courage to ask, "Is that all you wanted to say?" He shook his head and began to tear up, which of course caused me to tear up. He again buried his head in his hands and sighed. He told me he'd been feeling like he was missing out on fatherhood. I told him through tears that I understand and didn't blame him for wanting children, but he cut me off. He told me that wasn't it. He told me that he had been seeing a young woman at his work for the past 6 months and that he couldn't keep lying to me any longer. They were having both an emotional and physical relationship, and she had been pressuring him to leave me for months. Whoa. He claimed his insecurities about his lack of family was pushing him to feel that he needed to change and that she was a huge mistake. At this point, I couldn't take it anymore. I told him to get the out of my house. Get out! He looked at me like a scared puppy and panicked, told me he wanted another chance, that he just broken things off with his coworker and was willing to forego kids to be with me. I didn't know what to do. I just started to scream, yelling at him to get out and that I was completely done. He just began to sob and started pleading for me to calm down. It was clear that he wasn't going to leave. So I did. I grabbed my keys and ran out of the house. I drove for 30 minutes out of town, parked on the side of an empty road, and cried for an hour. Driving back into town, I looked at my phone and saw that my husband had called over 20 times and texted me things like how he was so sorry, that she was nothing, blah, blah, blah. I didn't delete any of these messages because I knew how important they were for my lawyer to see. When I arrived back to my house, he was no longer there. I walked inside and all was the same. He took nothing and broke nothing, which was relieving. I regained my composure and sense of reality and called my lawyer and left him a very long message about what had just happened. Today, my lawyer got back to me and told me to come first thing on Tuesday morning. Husband has not tried to contact me since the one last text on Sunday that read, "I love you, infertile old maid. I effed up and I'm sorry for hurting you. If you ever need me, I'll be here for you." My mind is again in turmoil and I feel like I am dying. I have yet to tell any of my friends and family what has happened, and I'm not sure that I'll be able to. That was, I think, one of the saddest stories that we've read. I don't know. What do you think OP should do? Like, do you think OP should break up? Do you think she should take this guy back? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you've been in this situation, please let us know too. But John, what do you think?
I think she's doing the right thing. I also want to say this real quick. The husband could have potentially been okay as soon as he started having these changed feelings, talked to her about it, prepared her and basically said like, you know, like kind of like you said, like, I don't know what to do with these emotions, but I need to communicate them to you.
Let's split up and then you sleep with that honey at work.
Then, yeah, all that being said, I definitely think OP is not the a-hole. I definitely absolutely think he's the a-hole even before he cheated.
But let us know what you think. That was a doozy. I hope everyone is okay after that story. Hey, also, if you're going through anything like this, like just know that other people have gone through it too and have come out okay on the other side.
That's right. I caught my dad boning my girlfriend. Now my girlfriend has something else huge she wants to confess. So to start, I, male 22, have been with my soon-to-be ex-girlfriend Kate, female 21, for just shy of 3 years. Our relationship throughout the 3 years has been amazing. She had always been kind and supportive and very open and honest with me. She was a little open with some other people too.
Oh, geez.
We had dates often. Our lovemaking life was great. We had very few arguments, but when we did get into a disagreement, we managed to communicate and come to an understanding not before too long.
This sounds like a great relationship.
One would think, right?
If only your dad didn't have so much game.
I believed our relationship to be healthy and loving, but apparently I was wrong. On to the story. About a week ago, I had started to notice that Kate was becoming very touchy about me being on or around her phone. This was odd to me because not only had she always let me use her phone to make calls if mine was dead, but she would also download games for me to play on her phone so she could distract me when she wanted to watch her shows.
Here you go, little boyfriend.
Here's your iPad. Kate began snapping at me for asking to borrow her phone or snatching it out of my hand if I was so much as moving it away from the edge of the counter so it wouldn't fall. And whenever I questioned her behavior, she brushed it off and explained that she was just in a bad mood. And her constant dismissal of my noticeable confusion began to annoy me. So I asked her if she was hiding anything from me, which led to an argument about her saying I was accusing her of infidelity and not trusting her.
I can't believe you would think I was cheating. You don't trust me. Heard that one before.
Heart emojis in the comments for Sam, guys. And began trying to get physical with me, in which case I shut down the argument and told her to sleep in the guest bedroom. She was very angry about it, but I told her we would talk about it in the morning. When we did talk about it, she apologized for her behavior and gave me her phone. I told her I trusted her and I didn't need to go through it. And to be frank, I did trust her and I believed her outburst due to be to the ongoing stress at work, which was clearly stupid of me.
Oh, God.
You know.
Ignoring all the warning signs.
Yep. You'll regret it, man.
The next day, I noticed she had gotten a missed call from my father. I had never known my father to like Kate or even have her contact info at that. In fact, I was convinced that they both disliked each other. At any and every family event, they would often argue or make snarky remarks at one another until we had to leave due to the tense atmosphere that had created.
There was all the sexual tension.
So I decided to ask Kate why my father had called her. She physically froze and mumbled an excuse about it being my birthday soon and he had planned something, but my father and I were never very close. So I didn't understand why he would, but I played it off and decided to just go about my day.
OP, OP.
Then the following night, I had texted her explaining that I had a late shift and would be back around 10 p.m. at latest, which I did. We ended up being dismissed early, actually, due to an incident regarding our manager and a few of the staff.
No.
I tried calling her, but she had her phone off, so I assumed it was dead or something, or she had turned it off. When I made it home, I noticed my father's car 2 houses down from ours.
OP.
So I tried calling him, but his phone was also turned off, which I found odd because my mother likes his phone to be on so she can call him when she needs him because she is handicapped. I assumed my mother was with him, so I opened the door quietly to surprise her as I hadn't seen her for a while. And what I was met with was the sight of my girlfriend bent over the kitchen counter with my father right behind her.
That would suck so much. I would need so much therapy.
So much therapy. They both froze and started profusely yelling and telling me that it wasn't what it looks like.
What else could it be?
And they could explain, but I shut the door and locked it from the outside and made my way to my friend's house.
That is like the biggest breach of trust ever.
Yeah. Since they've both been blowing up my phone, apologizing and begging me not to say anything to anyone, and quite frankly, I'm just disgusted. Disgusted at my father, who's turning 60 next month.
Hey, props to him. Hey, I mean, he's still got it.
And he has my mother to take care of. And I'm disgusted in Kate, who was getting railed by my father for who knows how long. I honestly just want to throw up and set them both on fire.
I understand.
But I'm most worried about how my mother will take the situation, as she's very dependent on my father and adores him. Oh, there is an update. I want to hear from everyone and you, Sam, what you're thinking right now.
Well, the biggest question, do you tell the mom? I don't know if you do.
I don't know if you do.
And I would just say, hey, I won't say anything, but you better treat her right and stop around.
Yeah, like the second anything goes wrong, like this is on you.
Also, that's some crazy blackmail to have over someone. What would you guys do? Like, if your dad boned your significant other, how long would it take you to
How
forgive
long would
him?
it take? How many years?
How many years?
How many years?
Or a
That is the
lifetime.
question. As per someone's advice, I asked my mother to lunch. After some small talk, I informed her of the situation. She was understandably upset and in denial about the situation, as my father had spoken to her prior about me still holding a grudge against him, a story for another time, and that I would likely try to come up with a lie to turn her against him for revenge. But after showing her the messages they had sent afterward, she was distraught and visibly angry about the whole ordeal. My father was the first to message my mother, attempting to convince her that I staged the messages and that I was being petty and lying. And when she wouldn't believe him, he accused her of cheating on him and trying to find a way out of their marriage. Which evidently isn't possible for my mother, as she has trouble getting from place to place on her own. He then apologized and told her that he was just frustrated and asked to see her. And when she declined, he again accused her of cheating and staying with her lover while abandoning him. Kate's parents were evidently enraged that I accused their daughter of doing such a thing, and that they would be suing me for defamation on their daughter's behalf. Yep.
Oh my
So
God.
that's where we're at with that right now. I then took the liberty of sending them the screenshots from both Kate's and my father's messages, and they left me on scene for a couple of days before finally replying to me and informing me that while they won't be suing me, they would appreciate if I kept the situation under wraps. Kate's parents then contacted me again and asked if, despite everything, I would be willing to pay for her rent just for this month because she doesn't have the money for it at the moment.
Move home.
Obviously, I declined and told them that I no longer have anything to do with her anymore. They then informed me that she was pregnant with my child.
No way.
And they said they needed assistance from the father of her baby, and this would be a last goodbye. I then laughed and told them that I most definitely wasn't the father of the baby if she was pregnant, and if she needed assistance from her baby daddy to contact my father. Then I hung up and blocked them. Katie is apparently 5 weeks pregnant, but we haven't been intimate in just under 2 months, so the baby is not a mine.
Well, I'm glad OP didn't get tangled all up in that, but holy how many, like, this is a
How many
perfect
layers
storm
of
destruction.
effery. Ladies and gentlemen, what would you do in this scenario?
I'm surprised that Kate's parents went after OP. It's crazy that no one in this story is saying, I caught my husband cheating, and so I broke off the marriage, but after the twisted truth came out, I want him back. Hello, everyone.
This is your daily dose of internet.
My husband, 35 male, and I, 30 female, married for 8 years, have been separated for the last 14 months, and I need help and advice on how to rekindle our relationship. We are currently not on speaking terms, and all of our arrangements go through our lawyer. But I will have an opportunity over Christmas to clear the air and set things straight, as he will be flying in from Sydney to spend time with the kids.
Okay, this is your shot.
So, what happened? I received a Facebook message in September last year that my husband, quote unquote, was taking and exchanging naked photos with another woman on Tinder.
Yeah, she was just inspecting, you know, just like.
We spoke on the phone for a bit, and the only proof she had was a screenshot of their conversations and his profile. Long story short, OP did some sleuthing. I downloaded Tinder and found his profile with his location less than 1 kilometer away. I was convinced that he was cheating, and we had a terrible fallout that evening, which led to my family coming over to calm the situation, but instead, it escalated when my brother punched and grabbed hold of my husband. Joking. The neighbors called the police, and my husband was asked to pack a few things and stay elsewhere for a while. We separated shortly after, and he has since moved to Sydney to be closer with his ailing father, but sees our kids for a weekend twice a month. Fast forward to the beginning of November this year, my neighbor rocked up at my doorstep to tell me that her husband was catfishing women on dating apps using my husband's photos.
Stop it.
Damn! You know your husband a hottie when people are using him to catfish. He downloaded these photos from a MacBook that we lent him during COVID, and some of these photos were intimate in nature and of me. Dude, creepy neighbor. The police are currently dealing with this. All of this has been relayed to my husband through his lawyer, but his response has been lukewarm and said we could talk about it over Christmas. I am so scared that we might be too far down the rabbit hole and that he will likely push for divorce, even though I know that we love each other deeply.
Oh.
But this took a massive toll on our mental health, finances, and the well-being of our 3 kids.
Oh, no. And he got freaking smacked in the face.
And everyone thinks like, oh yeah, like he definitely did it. Okay, so there is an update, but what would you do? And what would you guys do if you realize
Truly,
like this cheating husband that you thought you had is actually like not a cheating husband, maybe a stand-up guy?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, all you can really do, I feel like, is come to him and be like, look, this wasn't your fault. Like you got all this
He got
stuff you don't deserve.
Yeah, he got
all
a
of this
ton
stuff.
of shit,
and it's
dude.
so unfair for you, and it's awful, and it's disgusting. I'm so sorry about everything. And can we attempt to work back? And you tell me what you need, and we just communicate and
But the
see
thing
if we
is,
can.
she
build.
like didn't even try to believe him. That's the
Tot-
other thing.
yeah.
And I feel like we've seen stories where it has been super damning, but
Yeah,
catfishing happens all the time.
Yeah, totally.
And the fact that she didn't believe him,
Yeah.
that's kind of rough.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Unfortunately, after having sat down and discussed things, it was decided that our marriage is beyond repair.
Oh,
and that we should go our separate ways.
man.
He's currently in therapy and has requested that we have a clean break and no further contact in the future. I intend to respect his wishes and will continue to communicate through his lawyer on matters that concern our kids. I have since cleared the air with our families and friends and still actively work towards repairing his reputation. I'd also like to clarify the assault and why my parents came over in the first place, because her brother. Yeah.
Gave him old ringer.
The night of the argument, I called my mother to ask if I could drop off our kids and if they could spend the evening there, but she was concerned about my emotional state and asked that I stay put and they could come fetch the kids instead. They arrived and my brother opted to stay outside while my parents came inside to grab the kids in their bags. At this point, my father asked to talk to my ex and calm the situation. My mom dragged me away to get the kids and their bags ready. My brother was very confused when we came outside and was triggered by my mom saying that my ex might have cheated. My brother reacted the moment my ex walked out and grabbed my arm in a non-violent way, leading to the punch and scuffle on the front lawn. He was remorseful and apologized even before we found out my ex was not to blame. It is a series of unfortunate events that have changed many lives and robbed my family of our love and happiness. Now I have to focus on my kids, my depression, and coming to terms with the divorce. I will never forget, but hopefully the pain won't be as intense. Damn, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what you guys would do in this situation. Like, would you, like, as the guy who had all of this shit come out against him that was not true, and as the girl too. But John, what do you think? What would you do?
Okay, here's what I think. Go sue the guy who catfished. My God, like,
Yeah, if your family is in a tough financial situation because of this, if that ain't emotional damage, I don't know what is.
oh my God,
You screwed over an entire family. At least get a bag from it.
And you know, not even the bag. I just like, hey, you caused all of this.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's something that just as the story was ending, I'm like, okay, maybe that's like,
It's crazy also just how like one neighbor can just screw your entire life.
all of it.
Yeah.
Never lend your laptop. That's what I've learned.
Like, yeah, you can blame the neighbor, and of course the neighbor is the blame.
Yeah.
I think also like there was communication that broke down too that led to the divorce.
Yeah. My husband thinks I cheated and is saying our baby is biracial. Now we have the paternity test and he has something to tell me.
I feel like most people just don't understand genetics.
If you're curious how genetics works, Google Drake's baby. I, 24 female, gave birth to my daughter 6 months ago, and it should have been the happiest moment of my life. When my daughter was born, her skin was very dark, and it looked like she could have 2 biological parents who were of African descent. My husband, Jim, 26 male, fake name, was furious and accused me of cheating and left right then and there.
Wait, is Jim white? Are they both white?
It seems that they're both white. Then he told everyone on both sides of the family what happened, made posts on social media, and said he wanted a divorce.
So he like sees this baby. He's like, not mine.
Nope.
Doesn't do any tests. Just immediately
Runs out. His family and a lot of our friends all called to say how upset they were at me and called me really nasty names. But my mother was on my side the entire time, and I kept professing my innocence. Jim refused to pick me up from the hospital, threw my stuff out on the lawn, and changed my locks. I ended up having to stay with my parents. When my sister called to ask for the baby stuff, Jim texted pictures of the bare nursery room and said that he got rid of everything. He even destroyed my art studio. I like to paint, and he told me my work would be too awful to sell.
what a
I was distraught, and I just tried to focus on my baby. Weeks went by, and Jim refused to speak to me directly and never even once asked about the child. Eventually, he agreed to do a paternity test.
finally.
After all of this, what do you think? Is that your guess?
I predict it's gonna be positive.
He is 100% the father.
I knew it.
No one could believe the results, so it was done again and again. Jim was proven the dad. Now, around the same time, one of Jim's cousins did one of those ancestry tests, and there was around 30% of African ancestry in the family. The ancestry test combined with the paternity test made Jim's paternal great-grandmother admitting to having an affair.
Oh shit.
So that's where it came from. Since then, Jim has been reaching out to everyone to apologize. And while it did feel good to be vindicated, the damage has been done.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like, no, bro, like you didn't even think to believe me.
Sad.
I can't unsee or unhear all of the horrible things that was said and done. Not just to me, but to the child as well. Jim made some very racist remarks. Things that I thought he'd never say, and he did it so easily. Regardless of what our daughter looks like, I don't want her to be around that.
I agree.
What else will Jim and his family say or do the next time they get mad? How are they going to treat our daughter when she does something that upsets them?
Those are all really valid points.
Jim has been begging for forgiveness. I said I needed time, and he asked to see the baby, and I let him, but I'm too afraid to physically hand her to him. He's repairing the nursery and keeps asking me what I would like, and I cry every time, saying that we already had what I liked, and some of the items that we had can't be replaced.
He like destroyed them.
He asked me if I still loved him, and I admitted he showed me his worst self, and I don't know if I can live with that image.
I think he showed you his true self.
I don't mean to be hurtful, but it's how I feel. My sister suggested couples therapy, but
Get therapy for yourself.
But I don't feel like I should have to work to fix something that I didn't break. I've never cheated, and I've been 100% innocent in all of this the whole time. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to give Jim a second chance? So there is a decently big update here. Second chance?
No, I don't think so.
Not a chance.
I mean, you're gonna have to have him in your daughter's life in some way. The fact that he just blew up so massively, like without like investigating, like what's the next thing that he's gonna blow up at?
On to the update. First, my parent who was adopted also did the Ancestry 23 test, and it turns out that Jim isn't the only one who had African ancestry.
Makes sense.
My parent had at least 45%, which means I had at least 20%. I am legally separated separated from my husband with primary custody, and I'm living with my parents until further notice. He still keeps apologizing and wants me to come back to the house. My dad is retired, so he does a lot of the babysitting while my mother and I work remotely. I do go to the house every so often so Jim can see his daughter and for couples counseling via telecom. In one of the sessions, Jim confessed to something really hurtful, and some of you guessed it right.
No.
He cheated.
Oh.
Of course he did. It was while we were dating, before he proposed, and his treatment towards me was a projection. It was an ex-girlfriend who had cheated on him, and he hooked up with her as an ego boost. He started to feel guilty, but was too scared that I would walk away to ever confess. Jim also admitted that he was scared when I got pregnant, our baby wasn't planned, and was very anxious about being a father, but just pretended to be excited because he didn't want to look like an a-hole. The ship has
definitely
sailed.
look like an a-hole.
My husband was so willing to believe that our daughter wasn't his because he thought that he had an out. Now that he knows that our child is his and has spent time with her, Jim regrets everything and just wants his family back and is willing to spend the rest of his life making it up to us. This was all deeply hurtful and I've cried about it more than once. Jim has been lying to me and my ability to trust him hasn't improved at all. When the holidays came around, Jim's parents asked about seeing their grandchild, but I didn't want to. They told me that it was selfish for me to keep her away and I reminded them of their past. They said that they've already apologized and tried to minimize the situation. They said that I can't be angry forever and that I need to learn to forgive them. I'm so ashamed of ever loving and marrying into this family and wonder why I didn't see it before. I've decided to contact a lawyer and will be filing for divorce after my baby's first birthday.
Smart.
Great story.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually curious if anyone has been in something like this or kind of what you would do if you were in this scenario. I mean, I don't know. What are your final thoughts here, Sam?
Again, I think people can change and people can improve, but it's going to take a long time. And he's just not showing it. Definitely get the divorce. You got to earn back all that trust. Like,
really, every single person. My grandma just had an affair baby. Now my grandpa is forcing DNA tests to get access to his $4.2 million inheritance. I just took one and my family is furious. So I, 29 female, had a rich grandfather who passed away recently and I didn't know him very well. He divorced my grandmother when my dad was 13 and barely spoke to him or his siblings for a few years after that. My aunts and uncle never knew why and felt really rejected by my grandfather's lack of interest in seeing them on a regular basis. Now, when my dad was 18, he reached out to my grandfather and reconnected with him. Eventually, my grandfather was able to somewhat mend his relationship with his dad's other siblings and even ended up paying for their college. However, my grandmother and grandfather were still pretty bitter towards each other, but never told anyone why or the reason for the divorce. They didn't really stop being openly hostile to each other until my own father passed away when I was 4.
Oh, man. OPM, sorry, that sucks.
And now that my grandfather's passed away, the secret came out when the will was read.
Oh boy, let's get some will tea.
Apparently, my grandma had an affair, and when she was pregnant with my aunt, she did not know who the father was, but chose my grandfather because he was the most financially stable.
Oh, damn, bro. These ladies. Come on.
My grandfather didn't know this for the longest time until he caught my grandmother in another affair and found an old letter from her first affair sent that she had kept. Add insult to injury.
If you're going to be cheating, don't keep the evidence.
He was furious and filed for divorce and used every legal tool he had, although not every ethical trick in the book, to hoard as much of his assets and resources as he could. Now, the will stated that before each child could claim their share of the $4.2 million inheritance, they would all have to take a DNA test to prove that they were in fact his biological relatives.
Dang.
So everyone has up to a year to comply to the DNA test. To any child that refused the test or they were proven not to be biologically related to my grandfather, then they would be given just $5,000 while all of the rest would be reallocated to the children who were proven to be the biological children. We were all shocked and my grandma was livid. There were a lot of fights, but in the end, everyone wanted to present a united front and just try some kind of loophole, claim the money, and then take a DNA test.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's smart. That's smart. That's what I would have done.
That is smart. But what if you were like, I think, because here's the thing.
But you wait until the year.
If others are not, then you get more of the inheritance.
Yeah.
Versus if you stand in a united front, the pie will be less for everybody. But I never agreed to that and resented being told what to do as a legal adult. I tried to talk to them about it, but they shut me down twice. My uncle's wife even accused me of not really being my dad's kid, so I shouldn't get any money anyways.
My uncle's wife said that, he wasn't his dad's kid, so...
Like this is the grandma's affairs aside. He was saying,
the uncle's wife said that OP's mom cheated.
Yeah, literally.
Damn.
Like, I feel like everyone is trying to get OP to not.
Interesting. OP should,
Because I wonder why are they all united? Why are they all united? And why are they all shutting OP down when she's pushing towards the DNA test?
Holy shit.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Conspiracy.
Now that pissed me off. So I just took the DNA test out of spite. And I am my grandfather's biological grandchild. So as of right now, I am getting the majority of the 4.2 million of the money.
Oh my God.
Because everyone is refusing to take it. So by default, OP, as of this second in this story, is the only one entitled to the 4.2 million. Legally speaking.
Shit.
My paternal side was really mad at me. The reason why they hadn't all taken the test yet was because my grandma does not want them to. She denies everything that my grandfather is accusing her of and says that the letter provided is a fake. She's too insulted by the mere accusation and thinks that if her children do it, then they're doubting her integrity while also giving into my grandpa's manipulation, quote, from beyond the grave.
Interesting. I don't know. That sounds like what someone would say if they didn't want their little secret to get out.
Although I will say, on the other hand, he could just write a fake letter.
That is true.
And because he just didn't like her or something. Well,
I guess taking the paternity test doesn't actually prove that she didn't cheat.
If any of the children are not...
Like basically, if all of them are related to her,
yes,
then
to him,
or if all of them are related to him, then it just proves that they're all his children, but it doesn't necessarily prove that she didn't cheat.
Yeah, she could have cheated but not had a child.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like the paternity test only hurts her more.
Yeah, because think about this too. If she was so confident, she would be like, "Go ahead." Because I know they're all going to be positive because I didn't cheat. If you're so dang positive, let everyone take the test.
I think. Please tell me there's an update.
There's more. There's more. The story's not over.
Okay.
It's now started this domino effect where everyone is starting to fight with everyone. And now that the euphoria of showing up my uncle's wife is wearing off, I'm starting to feel guilty because of how it's affecting my cousins. So am I the a-hole? Ladies and gentlemen, I need to know what you would do in this position. Because again, you're in this like kind of bluff.
Between,
you're playing this game of chicken because there's 4.2 million on the freaking line. And it's like, do you take the test and try to get it? And then, like, where do you stand in that?
I say everyone just should take the test.
But think about this. If OP, like, almost like eggs them on like, oh yeah, I get like basically kind of keeps them at bay from taking the test, the year will expire and legally OP will get all of the $4.2 million.
Oh man. I mean, do I care about my relationship with this family?
Do you care about it more than $4.2 million?
If it was just my family now, I wouldn't do it, right? But if it was some family that always like on me and hates me and says my mom was a dirty cheater and all that stuff, then I would take the paternity test. I wouldn't tell anyone. If it came back negative, then I would be like, all right, let's all stand in solidarity. Came back positive, same thing. All stand in solidarity. Year ends, bam, serve it with them, get all the money.
I fooled you the whole time.
What would you do? Let us know in the comments. We desperately want to know. My brother went missing 10 years ago, but today I uncovered my parents' dark secret.
I mean, that is a long time. 10 years?
10 years. That's longer than Rick and Morty has been on air. My brother went missing years ago. And when I say missing, I mean that his case was declared one of those creepy unsolved mysteries. Nice.
Are we true crime now? Is
Yeah,
that-
dude.
is that what's happening?
That's what we're getting into. It was on the news. I distinctly remember my parents interviewing for the news in our living room. And I think I know what happened to him. Yo, I'm ready. I was very young when he went missing. The day before he disappeared, I remember him staying home and babysitting me. I stayed in my room and played Nintendo 64. Throughout the day, a guy came over. I remember him. He was older, almost our dad's age. My brother made me go to my room whenever I heard the doorbell. Later, after the guy left, my brother would ask me not to say anything about the guy. With my brain only being focused on video games and extra dessert at that age, I agreed. I didn't care, nor did I comprehend the gravity of the situation. The day before he disappeared, I remember the older guy coming over. I was in the kitchen and remember looking up and seeing him kiss my brother. They hugged. They didn't care that I saw them. The older guy waved back at me and I waved back at him. Then I kept watching cartoons. I fell asleep on the couch and woke up to my brother whispering outside our front door. Don't worry, he's asleep, he said. The other guy said something I couldn't hear. Then my brother said something I couldn't make out, but I made out the words, visit them, or maybe he said, visit him? Either way, I know the word visit was in the sentence. The man raised his voice and said, yo. Then I heard plan in city, and then I fell asleep again. The next morning, the day he disappeared, my parents were at work. My brother was acting very strange. I remember he kept checking the clock. Then he told me he had to run to our neighbor's house or something. I don't even remember what he said. I just said, okay. He reminded me to not open the door for anyone, only mom and dad. I shouted at him, okay, because Super Mario was getting on my effing nerves and he wasn't helping. He gave me a hug and told me he loved me and left. And he never came back. All these years, decades later, and I think he was in love with that man. Maybe his brother's older, like 18 or something. I know he was. The memories randomly came flooding back to me earlier. I'm not quite sure why, but it has been taking over my thoughts lately. I can't sleep because I keep thinking about it. I think my brother left with that man and they ran away together, or maybe something worse happened, but I don't think that's the case. My freshman year of college, I was part of a sports team that got national recognition. I remember my team's picture was on ESPN and it had our university's name. A few days later, I got mail at my dorm. It was a gift basket. I thought it was for my parents, so I didn't read the card. I threw it away immediately and ate what was inside, but it was nothing but candy. Nerds, Jolly Ranchers, Tootsie Rolls, and Hershey's Kisses.
You freaking teenager.
I called my dad and thanked him for the gift basket, and he said he didn't send one. Neither did mom. Then I got to thinking, all those candies were what I used to eat as a kid. Literally all I ate for the earliest years of my life were those candies.
Oh my gosh.
I tried to find the card, but I couldn't. Months later, during Christmas, I got an unmarked Christmas card. The only thing written on it was a smiley face, which is hella creepy.
That is way too cryptic and like, at least say like, hope you're well.
Since then, I've heard nothing. No one I know sent that card, and I have never responded. I wonder every day if he's out there. I've never told anyone. When the police asked me what happened that day, I told them that he went to the neighbors because that's all I remembered, honestly. And it destroyed my parents. My mom became addicted to painkillers, and my dad has had 3 extramarital affairs. Dealing with pain in different ways, I guess.
Way to go, Dad.
Yeah.
My God.
Which I know this tragedy is no way an excuse cheap, but it sure didn't help. It has ruined our family, and maybe my brother knows what he did. Maybe he regrets it and knows he can't come back home. But if I could see him today, I would just want to tell him that he is always welcome in my home. I love you so much, brother. We have so much catching up to do. Please come home, please. And there is an update.
Oh my gosh.
But John, what do you think happened?
I mean, first of all, Opie, you got to be a little like, just give it to us straight what you're thinking. Like, it seems like Opie is hinting he knows where the brother is, that like maybe the guy was like a lover or something. Honestly, when I was first listening to it, I suspected like that was his real like biological dad.
Oh.
And dad came back and was like, oh, I'm your real dad, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know, I guess maybe he's vindictive against the family or something. Like that was my initial hypothesis
from your
going
mom's
into it.
extramarital affairs.
Yes.
You heard all about your dad's.
Yeah, like the dad doesn't know he's the dad type of a situation. That's what I guessed was happening in the beginning.
Well, you ready to find out? I got into contact with some detectives that our family has known since my brother went missing. When I started asking questions, they told me that my brother was no longer on any missing persons registry. When I asked what that meant, they told me that he was removed per my parents' request.
Okay.
I asked my parents, my dad actually. My dad ignored. My mom told me my brother is alive and okay, as far as she knows. They found my brother years ago, a very, very long time ago, and found out he was living with another man. He's gay, and it disgusted my parents. He tried to reach out to them. They told them they didn't want anything to do with him and that I didn't remember him and wouldn't want to see him. Like, keep your biases within yourself at the very least. Don't let them affect the younger brother. I went ballistic. My parents weren't fazed by it. They sincerely hate my brother for who he is, for being gay. They kept him a secret from me all my effing life. My brother missed the birth of his nephew. He missed my wedding, graduations, everything, just because my parents, they lied to me. I've been able to get a phone number and contact information from police officers.
Oh, wow.
He's alive. I haven't talked to my parents parents in weeks, and I never plan on speaking to them ever again.
Oh, wow.
Not for what they've done to me or my brother. I called my brother. First thing I heard on the other line was this guy laughing in the background. Who is this? It was his voice. I knew that voice. It was my effing brother who had been gone my entire life. Covered my mouth with my shaking hands and just sat there. Kept asking me who it was. The guy in the background was trying to talk to him. And then he hung up on me. I called him back right away.
Yeah.
He answered again.
Okay.
Me being a creepy ass, the first thing I said after decades of not seeing him and thinking he was dead, I blurted, I got your number. He asked me who I was and what I wanted. I said, it's me. There was a really long pause. I thought the call had dropped. He asked me my name. I told him and he said that I was lying. I told him I got his number from the Missing Children's Network and detective. I heard him gasp. He asked me what color shoelaces he wore to a picnic when we were kids. And I remember my mom getting mad at his orange laces with blue shoes. It was the last time we were together as a family. I could tell he was crying. The first thing he asked me was, where are you? And I told him I lived a few hours away from home. Without hesitating, he told me, I'm coming. He went straight to the airport without any luggage, bought a plane ticket, and flew straight to me. We stayed on the phone with each other the entire time. When he was walking through the gate, I knew who he was right away. He is middle-aged, salt and pepper hair, muscular, looks like my dad, only better. I know if I told him that would make him mad. I literally pushed an old lady out of the way and I just hugged him. He was crying. I was crying. I was having a breakdown. He apologized. He kept crying, telling me he felt horrible. Told him to forget about everything and tell me about his life. He stayed with us for 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, everything about my life changed. His husband and 2 daughters flew in to stay with us.
Wow.
My brother-in-law and my 2 nieces.
2 daughters. Wow.
My family. They are my family. I do not plan on forgiving my parents, but my brother still loves them. He went by their house and knocked on the door. My father shut the door in his face. My mother gave him a hug and told him to take care of himself. Then she shut him out. I can't forgive them for that. I have no reason to stay close to them. I want to be with my family. I want to make up for the lost time. And I'm here. So happy, so fulfilled knowing that my family has grown and doubled in size so suddenly. My heart is happy. I am so happy right now. Wow. I don't know how I'd react like seeing my brother after all those years.
After a decade?
A decade. That's a long time.
That is a long time.
And also like thinking that my brother was missing or like dead.
Yeah.
Also, I can't believe the parents.
It always shocks me when someone will just like disown their child.
Yeah, that was a tearjerker.
That was a tearjerker.
That was a good one. I would love to know what you guys thought.
My friends are throwing a birthday party for my twin brother without me. Should I ditch them?
Maybe it's time for a new friend group.
So I'm a twin and my brother and I hang out all the time and we're super close. In a few days, it's going to be our 25th birthday. We share the same friend group and we're all really close and have been since school. He has a close group of girlfriends, about 5 of them, who I have also known for many years. I would classify them as being closer with him in recent years, but we're still all good friends and socialize often together. Now, I've been added to a group chat labeled My Brother's Name Surprise Dinner.
That's so rough. Yo, we gotta prep for your brother's birthday.
Yeah. Hey, could you just put your hands here, put your knees here? Yeah. So we just need you to be a stool
Yes,
for the evening.
your brother to sit on.
For your brother, a throne, actually. You know, you're royal.
a throne is giving him a little bit too much credit.
Maybe.
I think a step stool.
The one you used it when you go potty. It was a surprise birthday dinner for my twin brother, organized by one of the girls in that group, and they invited me as a guest.
That's so awkward.
One of them also said in the group that it would be nice to see me as well. So I just feel like an afterthought.
Yeah, major afterthought.
I wouldn't really have minded if the girls had wanted to organize a surprise birthday evening exclusively for my brother and themselves, but they also invited my partner and some of my brother and I's closest friends as well. So it's like,
that's so weird. That sucks.
That feels inconsiderate and quite upsetting, as I can't understand why I would have been invited to my literal twin brother's surprise birthday dinner with me only invited as a guest, as it's also my birthday involving all of our friends. My girlfriend also found this action to be extremely rude and wondered why this girl didn't just reach out to her and then they could have organized a surprise birthday involving both of us instead, or having just involved both my brother and I and left the surprise element out of it. Totally.
Yeah.
Like, just include him in as being featured in the, celebrate him too.
That's so heartbreaking.
In the chat, it is clearly stated that we are all to arrive at one time while my brother is due to arrive about 20 minutes later. The thought of attending makes me feel weird because it's just a celebration for his birthday when him and I are literally born on the same day. Oh, God. This also isn't new information to the organizer. Also, every year, my brother and I do something together because we want to and because we have the same friend group. Last year, our friends and my girlfriend set up a massive dinner for our birthday, to which which everyone was invited, including this girl group.
This is so weird. I feel so
Right?
bad for the
Dude.
neglected twin.
Poor OP. He's just left as like, he is an afterthought. He really is. It's so sad.
I wonder who was born first.
Oh, there we go.
Was OP born second?
You know, so now you're second
Always
fiddle.
the afterthought.
Sorry. So now I'm at a crossroads. I don't even know whether to attend or not. On one hand, if I don't go, I'll feel left out because all of our mutual friends are going. But on the other hand, if I do go, I will feel like I'm letting myself be disrespected, and I'll likely feel uncomfortable as it feels like only my brother is being celebrated. So would I be the asshole if I took a stand and didn't go? There's a short edit, but Sam,
Whoa,
all of you, is he the a-hole right now to not attend?
I want to know what everyone else thinks.
Yeah.
This is so tricky.
Right?
Because it's not his brother's fault that his brother's friends are being a dick.
Exactly.
And so by him not going, he's kind of like F-ing the brother
Unintentionally. Shrapnel. Catching a stray.
Oh.
So that's a predicament.
Oh.
Real quick, yes or no? Attend as of right now.
Attend?
Before the update.
Attend because it's like, because you want to be there for your brother.
Yeah. And maybe tell them. Attend and tell them beforehand, like, yo, you should have included.
Actually, no, I modify my answer.
Modify.
I say talk to the girl and be like, yo, it's my brother too. My brother would honestly want to celebrate it with me.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty weird that we're only celebrating his birthday when it's my birthday too. Go to the
throw
source.
me in and then go.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, on to the edit. My girlfriend just checked the chat and the organizer booked a dinner for 10 people and set a menu. The problem is there's currently 11 people attending, not even including my girlfriend and myself. If we went, this would mean we are way over capacity. Now, we really aren't sure if we want to go because what if we turn up and there's literally no room for us? This makes it slightly more awkward as we may not be able to just pull up a chair and join. The dinner is also tomorrow. Thanks for all the kind messages as well. I will definitely give an update after everything plays out.
This is a tricky social situation.
You could literally be left standing at your own birthday.
Whoa, there's so many.
It got even more complicated.
I would say something to the person and then not ruin the surprise, not go because there's not enough room, and then say something to your brother afterwards.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I don't know if you know this, but your friend did this whole surprise party. Hope it was great, but I don't know. That's pretty. That friend is definitely a huge a-hole.
Such an a-hole. Literally caused all the, definitely got to confront her. And just like, why would you not include me in this?
Yeah.
I don't understand. And it's like, it's not like they were complete strangers. I believe OP said we're not like the closest, but we definitely know each other and hang out together.
Yeah.
So it's like, they're twins. You know him.
Yeah. And I like he said, it would have been fine to do a birthday dinner on a day that isn't their actual birthday.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to do it just for him, then maybe make it
and
smaller.
also all the friends. That was the other thing too, because the girl group was kind of more of the brothers' friends.
Yeah, so maybe just do the girl group.
Just do the girl group because they seem to be tight knit. But she invited their entire friend group.
Yeah, that's kind of an asshole move. So yeah. I would say my prescription is to confront the girl, say, hey, what the heck? I'm not going to go because it doesn't even look like there's spaces for me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Let the brother enjoy whatever. He's probably going to be like, wait, where's my brother?
Yeah. And then you follow up after and it was like, not only they invited me as an afterthought and didn't have
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. So it's like, there wasn't much I could do.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a
right?
Or at the very least, neglectful.
Come on.
Oh my God. Or just even at the very least, terrible planner.
Terrible planner. The worst.
I don't know, but what would you guys do? This is like a really tricky social situation.
Very much so. I want to see a all out battle. I want
in the
attenders
comments.
and non-attenders.
Yes.
Duke it out.
At it.
And we'll see whoever has the most comments wins. We'll give it to you.
Using my parents' money to bribe a guy into an arranged marriage.
Personally, I'm pro bribe.
For background, I am a 22-year-old woman from a large Middle Eastern nation. In my culture, arranged marriages are quite common amongst the religious population. I attended a prestigious private university in one of the most populous cities in our region of the world. My family is very well off, as my father is the CEO of one of the most successful holdings in our nation. I keep thinking Emirates, right?
Could be. Well, I mean, a lot of states got that That
Got the oil money. Ooh.
They're holding
Baby.
barrel in that company.
I'm studying engineering, and in my faculty, there's a man who I will refer to as Ali.
Oh.
Prince Ali, where could he be in this Reddit story?
What is that, Aladdin?
Yeah.
Oh.
You ever heard that song?
I'm sure I did.
Bro, John knows zero songs.
You know this. We don't, we've been over this.
Yo, Ali is Syrian. He sought refuge in our country in refugee crisis. There's
This is true.
civil war over there. Some kind of war.
Famine, I think, in Yemen, maybe in Syria as well. Yeah.
He came here with his 2 young sisters and his mother. His father passed away in the Syrian war. His family currently lives in a small single-bedroom apartment and are supported by my country's government aid. He has a sponsor so he can attend university, which is kind of sick.
I'm glad to hear that.
Ollie and I are both studying civil engineering. I've been in love with him since grade 1 of university.
Aww.
That's so cute.
Oh.
The problem is he has deep feelings for a Syrian girl who also ran away to my country. She doesn't want to be with him as far as I know. Rough. Dude,
Sorry.
That's rough. I guess she's really not Syrian about him. So bad. Since we are nearing graduation, I want to tell him that if he lets her go and chooses to start a relationship with me, then him and his family would be financially secure for life.
You never been this secure, Poppy.
I got a proposition for you, baby. I want to propose this idea to him and his mother. Gosh dang, are you romantic? I am not technically persuading him to marry me. I would say technically you are. But if he does, he'd be saving his family from ever having to go back to Syria.
Hey, wow.
So if he does it, I'm sending him back.
Bro, like, what are we doing?
And he would know this. Am I the a-hole for making this offer?
Interesting.
All right, edit. For everyone begging you to know my nationality, I won't reveal this. However, I will say that I am not Arab. All right, I want to know what everyone else thinks, so put your answers in the comments. Is it an a-hole move to say, I will give you and your family like $1 million if you marry me, and if you don't, probably gonna have to go back to your war-torn country?
So this is a good, I feel like a bit, people will be split, I think, which is always an interesting one. I think it's in the approach. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, you know what? I'm interested in you. And like, if we were to be together, like, I want to give you a good life. I want to give your family a good life. Like, I would love to do that. Like, I feel like we would make a good partnership and couple, and life together. I think that is totally fine. But if you go and you're like, if you want $1 million, you must marry me. If not, you may or may not go back home. Like that is.
It's all in the delivery.
It's all in the delivery.
But that kind of seems like how she's proposing it almost, or at least in the post, right?
I do not think it's an a-hole move as long as OP kind of has that right delivery.
Yeah. But based on this post, I do not think OP is going about it with the right delivery.
Yeah.
Based on the post. But we're hoping that your marriage proposal goes over well.
And hey, propose what you guys thought in the comments. Maybe we're totally off base.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Maybe we don't know what we're talking about. Also, if you've had any experience with arranged marriages,
please.
We would definitely
share
love to
your
know
personal
that too.
stories.
Yeah,
Please do. We might just put them on the show.
That we might. I got a job interview, but too bad my resume is complete baloney.
I love lying to potential employers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Currently, I am a software engineer. After getting turned away multiple times, I decided to do an experiment to see if recruiters actually read resumes. Hint, they don't. Originally, this resume was fairly standard, and I made up some bullet points that sound real, albeit it was mostly fluff and buzzwords. The only strange part was that all of the hyperlinks rickroll you. So it's like, oh, I created this, and it's a link, and it's just the
never gonna give you up.
Yeah. With that resume, I got a 90% callback rate from companies including Notion, Apartment List, Quizlet, OutSchool, LiveRamp, Airbnb, and Blend. Fair, maybe they just don't click any links, but read the bullets and saw what they linked. So I changed some bullets and adjusted my summary. Here's a little snippet. Experienced software engineer with a background of building scalable systems in the fintech, health, and adult entertainment industries. Team coffee maker. Ensured team of 6 was fully caffeinated with Antarctican beans ground to 14 nanometer particles. Connected with Reid Hoffman on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Organized team bonding through company potato sack race, resulting in increased team bonding and cohesivity. Spearheaded Microsofters for Trump company rally.
Oh my God.
Spread herpes STD to 60% of intern team.
Oh my God.
And my personal favorite, Phi Beta Pi fraternity record for most vodka shots in one night.
Oh my God.
So with these changes, no way I'm getting a callback with this, right? Wrong.
No.
Again, 90% callback rate. Companies included Reddit, Airtable, Dropbox, Bolt, Robinhood, Mux, Solve, Grubhub, and Scale AI. They actually read it. With that, I made the shown resume and began applying. So this is the resume they attached. They attached a link. It's great. Atlassian responded within an hour. Others that fell for this resume included WattHub, GitHub, Zynga, and Carta. My takeaways from this experiment is that applying for software engineering positions is very similar to the golden rule of Tinder. Work at FANG, which is Facebook, Apple, Amazon,
Really?
Netflix, Google. And number 2, don't not work at FANG. And if you don't believe me, you can copy the resume, change up the names, dates, etc., and try it for yourself. We'll update this when more companies reply back.
Wow.
Okay, but it's not over.
Oh.
But first, what do you think about this?
I
this
mean,
whole resume process.
Honestly, just
I think it's funny. Like
I'm more
I
shocked. I knew that a lot of people wouldn't, but I'm shocked at how many companies don't.
Well, because a lot of people are just looking like, oh, they worked at this, and this.
What
company.
are the big bullets?
Yeah.
Like, which they probably say in the email, like, oh, I have like 5 years of experience, blah, blah, blah. They're like, okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but there's more.
Ooh.
Since my last post, I've gotten way more callbacks, almost too many. But I decided to take a call with GitHub, a company familiar to us software engineers, and one that is owned by Microsoft. How could I say no to that? Unfortunately, I could not record the audio of the call because California is a 2-party consent state. But some things I told the recruiter. Rebuilt newsfeed at Instagram using React and implemented blockchain plus AI, which you cannot do. Built our own flavor of Kafka called MIA Khalifa. Mia Khalifa. The end result was getting a call scheduled with the director of engineering at GitHub.
That's like talking to the the head food like designer at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like the head of engineering at like the engineering company.
Yeah, dude, this is
Oh my God.
OP's going straight to the top.
Yeah.
Now, I fully expect this call to be canceled once the director or someone technical reads the resume and has recruiting notes, but I've been surprised more than once through this experiment, so fingers crossed. And there is another update.
Oh my goodness.
Nothing too crazy. The director knew it was a joke. He said he liked the social engineering aspect and asked if I wanted to interview with him on the security side.
Wow.
This is how you get a job, folks.
Truly is. Wow.
I have zero experience on the security side, and actually interviewing with them would mean I'd have to reveal my identity, so I opted not to do so. And then another company offered him a job, but opted not to take it because didn't want to reveal the identity.
Wow.
Okay, so that is how this person got 2 job offers. So if you're
Dude.
ever struggling with getting a job, just lie.
Just lie.
Just lie. But John, what do you think? Is this like an a-hole move, or is this like a superhero amazing move?
I would say superhero amazing move. And I'm curious in the comments below. Also, if from anyone who's a recruiter that is watching, like I feel like they'll probably think OP is the a-hole, but like please, I'm curious, especially recruiters, let me know. But I think 2 interesting things come out of this that like I feel like our audience can actually take away. One, if you do something like so unique and different, like even like something like it was ultimately a joke and like OP, it seems, was not going to actually take the jobs on this. So it kind of worked in that regard of like doing something so unique that they actually stood out and like were considered. And then the second thing I think is like nobody cares about a resume. What I think both of us have done this in our like life and careers. I've never sent a resume that to get it like a gig or a job or anything.
Oh, never.
I always like I like look at what they're doing and like for instance, if they're like oh, we're looking for a video person, or they have like a video that's not so great, I'll do my own version of it and then send it to them and be like, hey,
Like immediately offering value.
And I'm like, hey, you can literally like post this and like do what you want. I did what I believe is an improvement. Here is something for you. And that has always gotten a conversation started. Literally never with a resume.
We just want people to be hungry and be able to do the thing. So if you want to apply to OKOP and want to work here, just reach out and show us that you're hungry for apples.
Yeah, show us what you can do. Show me what you got.
Peace.
See ya. I'm infertile, so my husband boned his coworker. Now they have a baby together. But they just took a paternity test, and I can't believe what the results said. I, 28 female, was with my ex-husband for about 6 years. During this time, we were trying for a baby, but had no success. About 4 years into our marriage hit a rough patch. My ex had stress at work and slept with his coworker to relieve it.
Some people squeeze stress balls.
Yep.
Some.
He confessed to me rather quickly. He does other things quickly too.
Oh, got him.
And a week later, they sat me down and told me that they were expecting a child, the affair baby. I was an idiot back then, so I felt like I should forgive him.
No. What?
Because I truly believe he loved me and I thought that I had no one. My ex's family treated me like their own, but my ex's supposed daughter was the apple of their eye. So as a result, my ex's coworker was a frequent present in all of our lives. My in-laws felt like they had to include the mom of their grandchild for everything too, and she made her way into every family picture and memory.
God. I mean, I get it. It makes sense.
It did not help that I suspected that my coworker had feelings for my ex and flirted with him when she could. So
No shit.
yeah,
They bang, bro. They
Yeah.
have a kid together.
people thought that she was my ex's wife instead of me constantly. And I had finally had enough when during the baby girl's first birthday party, when I was told to take a picture of my ex, his mistress, their daughter, and his parents, not including me.
Oh. Okay. Yes. Ouch hurts. But you gotta leave. You gotta leave.
You have to leave.
You gotta leave. Man, the disrespect, bro.
Insane.
Disrespect.
The in-laws too, like everybody. It hit me that I was now treated as the other woman, and I realized that I deserved more than this
Yes.
BS.
Yes.
You
Amen,
do.
sister.
Yeah, you do. I filed for divorce a few months later and left. It was the hardest time of my life, but I ended up getting a promotion at work and met this sweet, wonderful guy. Fast forward to now, me and my new boyfriend are madly in love, and I gave birth to an adorable baby girl. I consider her to be a miracle baby. I got pregnant with my boyfriend like 3 months after dating him, and I thought it was strange that this could happen since my previous failed attempts with my ex. And I had thought I was the infertile one.
Oh, I see it coming. Holy, okay. I'm not gonna spoil it for anyone who
Buckle
hasn't
up.
seen it.
Buckle
But if
up.
you've seen it, say, I see you.
Yeah.
in
Say
the
I see
comments.
you. Say I see you in the comments right now. It crossed my mind then that maybe he was the infertile one and he only believed the mistress was pregnant with his child because they were having an affair.
Oh,
I didn't say anything though because it was not my place anymore. However, my new boyfriend was so happy about my daughter's birth, posted it on Facebook and tagged me in the post. I was still friends with my ex's sister-in-law on Facebook and she saw the post. She called me up and said that she was hurt that I didn't let her know that I could actually get pregnant, and the lack of my child during my first marriage could have been my ex's fault. It was at that point
that he knew
that my ex
he fucked up.
took a paternity test.
uh-oh. And
Put in the comments, do you think he's the real father or not? Real or not?
not real.
Not real?
Yeah, that's
Not
my
real.
guess.
The poor baby girl was never my ex's child.
Honestly, he deserves it.
Yup.
The cheaters
Yes,
never prosper,
you're
baby.
right.
He deserves it.
The coworker apparently was dating this terrible guy during the time that she was also sleeping with my ex and didn't know who the child's father was, so she strung my ex along because she had feelings for him and thought that he would be the best father for her child. Now my ex blames me for not telling him that I was pregnant way before him having to father this girl. He's doing pretty bad now, and I couldn't help but
Good.
feeling guilty
No.
that I should have told him.
OP, you don't owe him anything.
There's some updates, but yeah, speak your truth.
Yeah, I want to know what everyone else thinks.
Yeah.
Like, is OP the a-hole for not telling this guy that she was
Yeah.
pregnant? But I think no way.
Yeah.
No way. I mean, he was the one that cheated. He was the one that kind of like, even after she had forgiven him, pushed her out basically.
Of the family. They were still, from all we can tell, still in a relationship.
Yeah, and that he didn't advocate for her at all.
No.
And like, you know, it's kind of poetic that the woman that he cheated on and thought he had a baby with cheated on him.
And had a baby with someone else.
Rough.
That's how it goes. So there's an edit. Here's what's been happening right now. I haven't spoken to them after this, and I have been avoiding my ex's calls. He texted me saying that he's sorry and overreacted and felt guilty about prioritizing people who were never really family over me. I only replied with asking how his daughter is because even though she isn't biologically his, she's still his girl. She seems like an adorable kiddo and adores her dad. Frowny face. My ex's mistress is able to support the girl financially, so my ex won't contribute to that, but he says that he'll still go to see her every month because he feels morally obligated to. I feel bad for the baby girl so much because she seems to have lost her family unit, dad, grandparents, and cousins.
Yeah, that sucks. Sucks for the girl. Like the real victim here is the baby girl.
Yes. Yeah.
She's the one that's getting the most screwed over.
Absolutely. Because now it's like, is that whole family network who she's probably grown to at this point?
Yeah, and
start recognizing.
I mean, maybe she's young enough that she probably won't know, but frick, that sucks. I don't know. What would you do if you were OP? I feel like OP kind of made all the right moves besides the fact that she forgave him.
Yeah, which was like it wasn't even like a. Usually a bad move is like an a-hole move. Yeah, it was too generous of a move.
Way too generous. Yeah. But all right, what do you think? Also, have you ever been in a situation like this? Let us know in the comments.
Let us know.
Please, I hope you haven't been in a situation like this.
We don't.
My husband finally found out how ugly he is, and now he's crying saying that I'm going to leave him. But then I found out the real reason he's saying all of this.
Some people need to just know how gosh dang ugly they are.
They need to be put in their ugly place. So it all started a few weeks ago when we were having dinner with some friends, and one of them in particular began a joke that after 13 years together, surely one of us already got bored of the other. And she, 28 female, said that surely the one who got bored first was me, 25 female, because I'm the attractive one in the relationship. Oh. And I know that it affected my husband, 28 male, because that night he joked that he was actually lucky that I paid attention to him. But I thought at the moment that he would just forget about it, but he didn't. He started asking me all the time if I love him, and if I'm happy with him, if I would change something about a relationship and things like that. And yesterday, while we were talking about it, I told him that I would not change him for anything or anyone. And he started crying like a little ugly boy that he is. Which was really weird because he rarely cries. I gotta say, he looks uglier when doing so. No kidding.
I was about to say, hold on.
And I didn't like seeing him like this, so I spoke with his sister, with whom he is really close. She told me that for weeks, one of our friends has been telling him that he should prepare for the day that I cheat on him or leave him. And she told him that she thinks I'm already seeing someone else, and that if he wants it to be less painful for him, it's best to open the relationship.
God!
What kind of friend is this?
Dude!
That if he wants, she and her boyfriend can help us open our marriage, since it would be easier because we both know them. That this will help us because we will be able to experiment with more people, and I will not get bored of him, and he will also be able to have fun with her, like the lifelong friends they are.
Wow, how thoughtful of them.
Terrible freaking advice. I can't believe it. According to his sister, he told her that he hates those things, but if I want to do it, he will let me experiment with more people. Like a little sheep getting so misled. And to be honest, I hate everything that has to do with open relationships too. If you like it, great, but it's not my thing. And I thought that I was always clear with that. That's why I don't even know why that friend said that. She has had an open relationship, but she was never one of those people who wants everyone to be like them. She used to respect us, so I don't know what happened. How can I make him understand that she lied about me because she probably just wants to sleep with him? Is his husband now super hot? Everyone wants a piece?
Literally, he went from ugly to so good that people are trying to destroy his marriage.
I think man is confused. Okay, so there is an update, but before we go into it, who is your major asshole in this story so far?
This friend couple, major flaming infected.
Pro-laugh asshole. I, 25 female, talked to my husband, 29 male, and he told me everything she, 28 female, told him. Apparently, she's been telling him for months that he is not attractive enough to keep me for long, that love is not everything, and that looks are important to everyone, and that people who say they don't care about beauty are lying. And that pissed me off so much because for me, my husband is really beautiful, and I love him more than anyone in this world, and more than anyone else would, because he's so ugly. ugly. No. If it wasn't like that, I wouldn't have been with him for 13 years. And she knows that. And the worst part of this is my husband believed her because she destroyed his self-esteem with all those things that are not true just because she wanted to sleep with him and one of her partners. So she has 2 boyfriends or whatever, and one of them apparently knows me. I don't know how because we never met him. And he told her that he would like to know if he could have a chance with me. And that's why she's been messing with my husband's mind all these months. How is that a friend?
That is so god awful.
She also admitted that she likes my husband, not romantically, but physically. Honestly, I don't understand anything about that world of having 2 or more partners. If you want to have a harem, that's up to you. Personally, I don't want that, and I find it disgusting that they don't understand it. She apologized many times, but my husband didn't forgive her, and I don't intend to forgive her either. She behaved like an absolute idiot, and it is impossible for her to win back our trust. On the other hand, my husband and I were fine. Of course, we had a lot of talks about what happened these last few weeks and about our relationship, but we're fine, and that's all that matters to me. That our little family is well for us and our children. I would love for you guys to tell me, like, is anyone in an open relationship in the comments?
Ooh,
How are you
yes.
navigating that?
Yeah.
Is it hard for you? Is it difficult? If you have, no judgment except a little. Put it in the comments below. Also, who's the a-hole in this story?
The friend couple, obviously. Just on so many levels. Like, first it's your like random 40-year-old boyfriend that wants to get with, like, and so you're manipulating your friends to try and give him that, like, just so disgusting. The poor boyfriend, poor guy, just doesn't know what's left and what's right.
Yeah, he's like, am I hot?
Yeah.
Am I not? But we'd love to know what you think, so put it in the comments down below. Today I effed up by teaching my little brother the word uwu. Uwu. A few months ago, I, female 19, had taught my little brother, male 10, some words including rar, chicky nuggies, oh whoa, and uwu, just for fun, since he was jokingly talking in a very high-pitched voice. So I guess it's more like rar, chicky nuggies, ooh, oh whoa. I thought nothing of it at the time, but now I'm starting to question if this was a good idea. Woo.
Nice.
This morning, I had gotten to work when my mom got a phone call from the elementary school about my little brother. Seeing as I was running late, I had to rush inside to clock in, so I couldn't stick around to see what was going on. Not even 10 minutes later, I get a phone call from my mom, furiously screaming into the phone, "What on earth does ewu mean?" Confused as to what my mom was talking about it, I asked her how to spell it, and she goes, I don't know. EWOO? Still confused, I asked her what was going on. Apparently, my little brother was going around the playground saying, "Ooh," in a high-pitched voice to all the kids there.
Oh my God.
The kids then went and told the teacher, saying that he was using TikTok code words for wanting to hurt people.
Wanting to hurt people?
Yeah. Or sorry, unalive people.
Oh.
The teachers, after searching up ewu meaning and not finding anything, assumed that this was very well some very bad TikTok code words.
Oh my
and
God.
they immediately called mom.
Wow. What are you doing this off of assumption?
Yeah.
Stop.
Don't say the TikTok code words.
Oh no.
You'll unlock these sleeper cell agents that are hidden in every kindergarten. That leads us back to my mom calling me, furiously asking what ewu means. I finally figure out that she means ooh-woo. So I have to explain to her that no, this is not some TikTok code word for wanting to hurt people. And yes, it's literally just a cutesy face. Like how one would use a colon parentheses to make a smiley face.
Right.
Oh.
Or a fishy.
Oh.
That's where the uwu comes from.
Ooh.
Oh. Wow. The more you know.
Learn something every day. The teacher, still not believing what was going on, insisted on pulling him out of class.
Good.
And made him sit next to a police officer all day.
Arrest him.
You like anime too much. With that being said, I now have to go up to the school on Monday and explain what uwu 2 means to a group of angry teachers and school officials.
Wow. That is hilarious. Imagine
Anime evil words.
imagine they're like, 6-year-old, you are under arrest for using dangerous TikTok terminology.
I love how it's like, oh, we don't understand what this word means. Danger, witchcraft.
Ah!
What are some like words of your youth that used to say growing up? I feel like mine was like, I guess in high school, like lit was, I mean, it's still kind of used, but lit was a big one.
Dank, maybe?
Dank, yeah.
Because dank is like both like, oh, that's like cool, or it's like literal like
weed terminology.
Yeah.
Yo. See, we didn't have like the internet as hardcore as the kids do today. But we did
decently
have
hardcore.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like Tumblr.
I guess,
and
you know,
things like
maybe
that.
the equivalent was like everyone was like, yo, you should check out the website Neat Spin.
Didn't know that.
Oh, we don't know about that. Do you want to see what it is?
Oh, let's see it. Oh, the meat is spinning.
The meat is spinning.
Oh, man. There you go.
Do not go to meatspin.com.
Really don't do it.
Yeah. See, that should have been, those were the code words that should have been banned.
Oh,
in our middle school.
yeah.
Oh, geez.
Well, I humiliated my boyfriend in front of his boss, but the thing is, I didn't know I was doing it. Am I the a-hole? I, 22 female, am dating and living with G, 24 male, not his real name. I've had memory issues since I got in a wreck that required most of my head to be stitched back up to prevent myself from losing my phone, wallet, keys. I've made a specific spot in my apartment for them. For my phone and wallet, I have a whistle tag.
That sucks. Sorry, OP.
Yeah, I'm very sorry to hear that. But it sticks to things, and when I whistle, it'll play a sound if I've misplaced it. That's pretty cool. Just go, and it's like, I'm here.
It's like,
That's the X-Files? What is it?
oh.
Tell me what it is.
Please tell John. I'm not going to say anything. Just tell John in the comments what it is.
I kept forgetting to ask someone if I forgot my keys. Whenever I drive, I use my GPS so I don't get lost, even if I've been there many times, but I use it just as a safety net.
Dang. Okay. OP has got some brain going
It's
on.
tough,
That's
yeah.
rough.
Once G moved into my place, things started moving. At first, my phone or wallet wouldn't be where I put it. I noticed G got confused at me finding them and annoyed when I explained the tags. Then my keys would disappear and I don't have a tag for them, so I'd be in a panic because this would make me late for work. Understandable. After the 5th time, I started walking to work and it is an hour walk. When I got home, G would ask why I didn't just use my car, and I explained and pointed to the hook. That's where I usually find my keys, but they're not there. After about a month of walking in a really bad rainstorm, my boss realized I was walking and offered me a ride every day.
That's pretty nice.
That is nice. So I said that I'd be grateful and I would pay for gas. Well, this morning when my boss showed up and knocked on my door, G answered and got confused. I told him that I'm riding with my boss since I can never find my keys anymore and it's safer than walking, especially if my memory is messing up again. That's when he throws my keys at me and yells that it was an effing joke and that I shouldn't take rides from other men.
He was hiding the keys and moving her stuff?
That is awful.
And he blew up in front of the boss too.
Literally like humiliating when she's already having to do all of this extra stuff to deal with her injury.
And what kind of joke is that?
Who's laughing?
Yeah.
Like literally he's watched her for a month, walk an hour, having to get when she could have like her own car, her
And
own
the
like
only
whatever.
reason that he like fesses up to it is because she's getting a ride with another guy.
Literally.
Cool.
Literally. Don't even gotta wait to the end for that one. Apparently, he had been hiding my keys the entire time because he thought it was funny to watch me panic search.
Oh my God.
I started crying and reminded him of how hard I've been working over the past few years just to remember basic information and keep it together. My boss still gave me a ride and offered to buy me a tile for my keys so I didn't lose them. He said it's like an air tag for those without an iPhone. Very sweet. Very sweet.
Boss sounds like a stand-up guy.
G and a few of his buddies have been blowing up my phone saying that I'm the jerk for overreacting to a prank and embarrassing him in front of my
Overreacting? You
boss.
made her walk for a month.
Yeah, that's just cruel. Exactly. Maybe I did overreact, but I thought I was having a relapse at the thought of going through not remembering anything. Having to relearn life again is terrifying. There is a minor update. So my boss saw me checking my phone a lot. So I explained that I posted on here, shared what everyone was saying, and that he was texting me. My boss offered me his guest room, so I'll be safe from G trying to apologize or anything.
Oh, wow.
Boss thinks that G will try to use my poor memory against me and say that I did forgive him previous, but just forgot. Boss will be giving me a ride home to grab a few things that I can't replace while my dad helps G move out. My dad said that he'd stay at my place for a few days and change out the lock. Also, it turns out that it's been longer than a month that I realized it was still March. Time is tricky for me. I have to use alarms and everything. My goodness. I did not realize this was abuse. I get off work in a few hours. I'm going to tell G it's over when I get to the
Thank
apartment.
God. G sounds literally like a terrible person. So bad.
Disgusting. Like anytime your partner does anything remotely like this, like
Pranks should leave both people like laughing.
even if he did this one time, that would be awful.
Yeah, this guy is absolutely awful. He is not just an a-hole, like just evil.
Like an evil human. Yeah. A cruel, abusive human. But let us know what you think. Paint us with your comments and we will see you next time.
See you soon.